Hey everybody, I'm Mama Baird and welcome back to the channel. In today's video, I'm going to be showing you what I picked up from my local food bank. I like to go once a week. It really helps my family of 5. It is very expensive out in the world right now with inflation and just cost of living. So going to the food bank really helps us stretch our budget. Now, some people might think that that's the wrong way to go about using the food bank, that it's made for the destitute or the homeless only or those who have zero food in their house, but that's not true at all. It's for those who are struggling to pay their bills, put food on the table, and have time with their family as well. So if you are a struggling working family, please consider going to your local food bank. I have some resources listed down below if you need a place to start. So we are a working family and I'm going to show you what I received from mine. They encourage us to come once a week. They say it saves the average family $200 to $300 a month. So it's really encouraged for us to come once a week, and I am happy to oblige. So I'm going to be showing you what I got. If you're new to the channel, my name is Carolina. Please like this video, subscribe if you're not already subscribed. Every like, comment, share really helps support me and my channel. Thank you so much, guys. So I'm going to be showing you what I got. Lots of produce this week, which I am happy about. I'm going to show you the freezer stuff first so we can get that in though. This is 2.57 pounds of JoJo's, which are just potato wedges. So these are ones that were hot on the deli bar, and then they bagged these up and froze them. So this is what was frozen when I picked it up. So I will find a way to reuse those, either by reheating them up in the air fryer, or we can chop them up and use them in something. And then for my meat choice, I got some country style boneless ribs. These are probably going to be really good just like cooked in a pan or in the crock pot, and then throw them on the grill to finish them off. And then they are handing out a full case of shelf-stable 8-ounce milks to any family who would like it. So there are 27 cartons of milk in here. And they just look like this. They got a little straw in the back, and they're shelf stable so they can stay warm, or you can put them in the fridge and then they're nice and cold, ready to go. So this is going to be super helpful this summer, especially if we're going on trips or something. It'd be nice to have these to be able to throw in for lunch and stuff. And then we got a bag of dog food. I have 2 dogs, so this is going to be very helpful. And then for the milk, I got 2 half gallons of 1% milk. And then they also had, you could pick sour cream, cream cheese, or they had yogurt, regular flavored, like plain yogurt. So I got sour cream. Love sour cream. And then they also had this little thing of spinach artichoke dip, so I picked that up. This will be good to, you could reheat it and eat it as is, but this would be also good to use as a base to a pizza, like as a sauce. Or you could put it on top of some chicken breast and have like Parmesan. Ooh, or you could add it to pasta and have a spinach artichoke pasta. Oh, that'd be good. Lots of ideas there. And then I also got I think this is a 6-pack of jalapeno stuffed with cream cheese. It's kind of watery because it's been frozen and then thawed. So this is something I need to figure out what to do with this. And then every family was allowed 2 bags of these dried date pieces. So it's just like dates rolled in sugar, I think. Interesting. And then, but they're super soft, like you can smush them together, so what would you use these for? So maybe I could blend them up and make like a paste out of them or something, I don't know. And then there is a pack of these 5 caramel apple wrappers. I bet these could be used for something besides caramel apples though. Like, I wonder if they could be put like over brownies to make like turtle brownies or something. So, but if not, caramel apples are always fun. The kids haven't had those yet. And then we are allowed 3 things of milk, so I got 3 things of whole milk for the kids. And then this has a thing of sea salt. Look at that. Nice flaky sea salt. I usually use kosher salt, so this is kind of nice to be able to have sea salt. I'm excited to see the difference. Maybe I might like it better than kosher salt. And then they had these little tubes of one of mayonnaise, one of mustard. Little thing of fiery cocktail sauce. This is a jar of taco sauce, green taco sauce, so made with tomatillos. Then for our sweet treat, I picked these apple danishes. Oh, they're so good. We got cream cheese ones last time. They were really good. And then they had some hygiene items. So they had dish soap, dish shampoo, and some other stuff. And this is sandalwood. Smells really good. So I'm gonna get this for husband. It kind of looks like a flask. And then let's go over our veggies. I got 3 bell peppers, red, orange, and a yellow. And then a handful of celery sticks here. And then I got half a bag of these little yellow potatoes. And then some gorgeous jalapenos. And then a giant bag of sweet potatoes. Look at that big old sweet potato. So we got sweet potatoes. We got little Yukon Gold baby potatoes. And then every family was allowed a big half bag of russet potatoes. So we got that. And then I also got a big thing of salad mix of romaine hearts that you can chop up. Now the only thing left is the bread. They had lots of English muffins, so I got 2 buttermilk ones, a loaf of sliced sourdough. This is a big loaf of rosemary Parmesan cheese loaf. It's still kind of crunchy a little bit, a little hard. And then I got a thing of garlic bread. You could just chuck this whole thing right in the freezer, in the bag and everything. And then I got these everything but the bagel seasoning, or everything but the bagel seasoned loaves. And then I got some challah bread. This is the season, right around Easter time. I think this is also kind of considered Easter bread. This is a sweet bread, so I'm excited to get this. This is a good bread company too, Great Harvest Bread Company. It's a local one. Only thing in here, water, white flour, honey, yeast, salt, and eggs. It's gonna be good. So that is what I received from my food bank this week. I'm gonna go ahead and use some of the ingredients I have to make up some dinner, so hold tight and I'll be right back. Alright guys, I have a dozen egg whites here that I needed the egg yolks for another recipe. So I'm going to use off of that and add some of our just whole eggs to this. I recently discovered a hiding spot. One of my hens, the same one as you can see, had a spot that I didn't know about and she was laying. So I'm going to go through these and I want to use them if they're good. If they're not good, then I don't want to use them. So I'm going to crack them in a separate thing and just pour them in there. Now usually they should have no smell, they should have no different type of color, so these ones seem fine so far. Okay, so I'll just do 6 to the dozen egg yolks in there. I'm sorry, egg whites. And then here's one of our things of whole milk. Let's put that in there. Here's some vanilla. And some cinnamon sugar. That was left over from when I made empanadas. Whisk this up. Stab the yolks some. Break it up, break it up. And this is going to be our batter here. I'm just kind of making sure all the egg whites and everything are breaking up. Save these eggs for another dish, or if we run out of batter, we can make some more. Because anytime I make French toast, I make extra for the freezer. Alright, let's go ahead and slice this. Pretty thick, but still not too thick. In between sliced and Texas toast. It's about the thickness, maybe ½ inch. Alright, we're going to put a little bit of butter down. And then kind of push down. I don't really like them to soak too long. And then while these are cooking, we are going to work on our vanilla syrup. I have ½ a cup of butter, and then we are going to do 1 cup of white sugar. We're gonna put this on a low simmer, and then we are also gonna add 1 cup of heavy cream. And then I'm also gonna add a pinch of salt. This is our flaky sea salt, look at that. And now we are just going to let this come to a low boil. I'm also going to add the vanilla, about 1/2 teaspoon. We're gonna top this with some of my homemade blueberry jam. Yeah. All right, I got a clean fork, so I'm gonna stir it up. So this is always something you can use instead of syrup, is any kind of jam that you have. That makes great toppers for French toast. And then our syrup is still working. It's probably got maybe 3 minutes. I should have started that a little sooner, but it'll be fine. The hot syrup will warm up the French toast. Alright, this is kind of what we're looking for your low boil. You can see it kind of bubbling up around the edges. You want it to have a boil for a couple of minutes, about 3 minutes. That's what's going to thicken it. So it's crucial that you let it boil. So I'm having it kind of slow because I'd rather go slow than too fast and it burn or get too boil too much and get too hard. So all right, everybody, this is kind of what we're talking about when it means a low boil. So I already set a 3-minute timer, and we're just going to let this keep cooking for 3 minutes. I'm going to keep an eye on it, but pretty much just let it do its thing. Alright, it's been the 3 minutes, so we are going to add a 1/4 teaspoon of baking soda and turn it off. I got it. Okay. Here is our delicious vanilla syrup. I'm sure it's encouraged to cool it down first, but we're going to drizzle it right over here. And kind of pop a hole in the center, let all that syrup get in the middle there too. Something about, in the middle of pancakes always get dry. Alright, let's give it a try. Why yes, I'm in my pajamas. And why no, I don't have a problem with it. Look at that. Challah French toast with homemade blueberry jam and vanilla syrup. Look at that. You guys, this is so good. It's surprising how easy it is to make your own syrup. You don't have to stick with store-bought. You have got to try that syrup. Oh my god, that just made this. And the fresh blueberries. Oh, you guys. This would be a great Easter breakfast, don't you think? Wow. Don't mind me. Now that I am done with that breakfast, guys, that was literally the best thing I ever made. You have got to give that a try. I'm going to be prepping some of this romaine. I'm just going to pick out any of the brown spots, and then I'm also going to cut off the ends. And then I just have this 4-quart container here that I'm going to be putting just a regular paper towel, not wet or anything, dry paper towel down there. And then as I cube up the lettuce, I'm going to be putting it in there. So I'm trying to make it just 1-inch bite-sized pieces. That's the best. You could also shred this and then have shredded lettuce. That works really well. I actually prefer shredded lettuce to leaf lettuce on my sandwiches, so that's something else you can do. And now this will keep for probably at least 3 to 4 days in the fridge from here, having the air out of it as much as possible and having it in this container to hold it fresh. So I'm just going to trim the edges of this celery here. That's a little dark brown. We're going to rinse all of those. So let's get all of the peppers. This is great to add to potato salads, chicken salads, egg salads, regular salads, you know, stuff like that. There's always the ants on the log thingamabob. I hate celery, but doesn't mean I don't give it to the kids. All right, let's rinse it. One, that keeps it clean, gets any dirt off, and then 2, it'll help keep it nice and crisp while we store it. So I have a Ziploc bag here with a paper towel. I'm going to put the wet celery in there. Try and get out as much of the air as possible. Air, I don't want no air. Air is gonna make my celery go bad. Get that air on out. Alright, there we go. So our celery going in the fridge. Alright, next, let's wash. We're gonna rinse these peppers. Alright, so I'm just gonna kind of start on the top and then follow around. We're gonna be dicing this, so we don't have to worry too much about getting it perfect. This way you don't have to deal with the seeds at all. There we go. Oh no, this one was pernanging it. Alright, and then I am just going to rough chop this enough to fit through my dicer. Alright, and then we're going to do the same to the other 2 peppers. It's funny, all the peppers had extra growing peppers. Alright, now that we're done with the 3 peppers, let's go ahead and do the onion as well. Whenever I cook anything that calls for onion, I always add onion and peppers. It adds so much extra flavor. It's a little extra veggie in there. Alright, so for this, it's probably wide enough, so I'm going to cut this in circles and then it'll fit in the dicer. These bigger pieces I might have to cut in half. Let's make a good onion ring onion. Okay. Alright, so here is our stack of onions and peppers that we are going to dice up. Alright, here's this dicer. I'm going to be putting a bowl under it to catch. Some hands here. Use my strong hand. This is one of my favorite kitchen pieces of equipment I have. It's one of those you might think that, well, that's a bit extra, and it is, but it helps so much, especially around if you prep a lot, cook a lot, garden, you know, and have lots of veggies to get done at one time. Plus, it makes everything uniformed, so it's just pretty. And it's really not that hard to clean and take care of. It's not really that big, so it stores well. So, look at that. It took like 30 seconds. Let's do the pepper now. Alright. we got, look at that beautiful bowl of diced peppers and onions. I'm gonna take out some of the peppers because that would be good to add to like a salad or pasta or something by itself. And then the rest will mix. Alright, I have this pack of the jalapenos and cheese. I think I'm gonna turn this into some kind of pasta for my husband and I. Alright, so I'm gonna scrape out the cream cheese and cheese. Alright, now to the cream cheese, I'm gonna add, I don't know if I want to add all of this. Might as well. Let's give it a try first, I guess. Pretty good. Alright, here's this. Dice up some of these. I don't know about the rest of these. What do you guys think? Wasn't that good? Yeah. I told you, that was one of the best things I've made. Alright, hold on. I gotta make it more. Let's go ahead and make our pasta sauce. Start off about a 1/4 cup of butter. And cook some of these peppers and onions. With about 1 1/2 of the jalapenos we chopped up. Alright, to our veggies, we're going to add about a 1/4 cup of flour. I'm going to add a little more butter. You want it to be able to kind of like sizzle and cook. You want to cook that flour for a good minute. I'm going to add a cup of chicken broth. See how that's starting to thicken already? We're going for. And then I'm going to add one of our 2% milks here, room temperature. It's a cup. So a cup of broth, cup of milk. And just so you know, with the milk content, the higher the fat, the less likely it is to curdle. So if curdling milk is one of your problems, it could be that you're using too low of a fat content of milk, if that helps at all. Alright, so that's a nice thick sauce. We're going to add all of our stuff before we season it. This is our jalapeno cream cheese that was stuffed in it, and then the spinach dip. Oh no! Well, there goes that whisk. Alright, plan B. There we go. Alright, so we're going to let this come to temperature, cook a little bit, and then we'll give that a taste. See if it needs more cheese or anything. Alright, let's give this a taste. Ooh, that's good. I don't think it's a little too spicy at all. And then salt. You knew it was coming. A little bit of pepper. Alright, gonna turn it off. I cooked a pound of macaroni noodles. Let's see if that's enough. Yeah, we got a little bit of left. I'll probably keep this for like maybe a pasta salad or something. I think this pasta looks pretty good. Now, if you want to get super fancy, you could put like more cheese or breadcrumbs on top and then throw it under the broiler, and that'll get a nice crispy top. But this will work for now. Look how perfect those bell peppers come out. Now, if it was me, I'd add chicken because we like meat. But this is definitely a good meatless one. Still got the cheese in it. Might be good with some more cheese too. Oh, that's good. I want to encourage you guys to get creative in the kitchen. Don't be afraid to kind of mix stuff up. See if it works. Try something new. You never know. That might be the best dish you've ever made. Well guys, thanks for coming along, seeing what I got from the food bank, what meals I made from it, and how I used it to prep and set me up for the week. Once again, if you're struggling and you're needing some food, please consider going to your local food bank. Again, I have resources listed down below if you need a place to start. Thank you so much for watching, guys. I'll catch you next time on Mama Baird's.